My name is Jessie, and I think for most of my life I considered myself a Christian, but I didn't fully understand the meaning of redemption. And so I was trying to live a life like God intends us to love one another. And that sounds great on paper, but without fully understanding grace and love for yourself and for others, it's a tall order. My way to cope was to be pretty hard on myself and to only let a few select people in. And so I was finding myself with this ongoing inner monologue of, you're not good enough and you could have done better. Jesus started to get my attention when I moved to Columbia. That was one of the harder times, probably at my worst, when it came to those monologue monsters saying that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, because it was also the same time I was coming down to USC for grad school. Luckily, I found myself in a new part of the country where my new friends would just casually mention Jesus. It was kind of like a moth to a flame that I wanted to be around those people as much as possible. And then once I realized I wanted that, that meant showing up more, showing up to Midtown, finding life group, and putting down roots. The gospel means that God sent his son here, and he's the only one that has ever lived a sin-free life. He's the only one that has ever gotten it perfect. And despite all of that, he chose to take on our sins and die for them. And then 3 days later, he rose from the dead, and he proved that he is God. For so long, that's how I felt like I was living my life, trying to hold it together and trying to not make a mistake. And with the gospel, you're able to finally breathe again, because he died for our sins, and it is a gift. It's not something that we have to repay or anything that we ever could repay, even if we wanted to. And so to put that perfection aside and just live with grace and to feel that unconditional love, you can't help but radiate that to others.